get cracking. Good morning, welcome to a morning outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 12th of June. So what we got in store today, in fact what we got in store this week, it's quite a key week, so won't just look at today. Today we've got 10-year bond auction, and that is pretty much it. I think there's two speakers expected there. We've already had a speaker, Bank of England, Haskell speaking. We've got the an ECB member speaking this morning at 7:30. Well, that's happened, isn't it? Not seeing anything coming from that at the moment, unless the timing's wrong on that. And that's a Bank of England man speaking at 1500 hours, and that's not even on the list anywhere else. So I'll be surprised we see too much, and certainly we shouldn't have any Fed speakers because they're not allowed to speak this week at all. And of course, there's the meetings will be held and finalised on Wednesday. So that's the key thing this week. I say that's the key thing. We can't overlook the ECB meeting coming out 1:15. 1:30 we should have a press conference. There it is, 1:45 there it is, hidden down all the way down there, but so we've got the ECB meeting and press conference on Thursday as well. So with these in mind, just bear in mind we saw a lot of chop last week, and I don't think we'll see too much different, but you can't second guess the market. It seems to be quite jittery at times. Looking then at the currencies themselves, what's happening here, the euro just catching a little bounce off its weekly pivot. Started there, it's picked up a little bit, and quite a weird old we've got a lot of gaps around the open last night on different different brokers. Certainly Pepperstone oversaw some of the bigger gaps down there, but anyway, running towards the underside now. The euro's in a bit between a rock and a hard place at the moment. It's got its quarterly pivot sitting above here, giving us resistance, and then we got a daily pivot above us as well. Still a marginal trend kicking through. I say a marginal trend. There is a bit of a trend kicking through on the dailies, but it's gone a bit bitty. Just looking at everything that's here, there's the weekly pivot there, so giving us the support, and well, so we've got a quarterly above, a weekly below, and well, the daily above. I'd just like to see what the reaction of the daily, if the price gets up to the daily, what the reaction is there. Where's the monthly? Monthly is above as well, just above the quarterly. So, but so far that's holding as resistance. Could be, as I say, could be such a fickle market. I've got to just wait and see how some of this pans out. The pound also had a gap this morning. I mean, it's by the looks of things a bit gappy in the trading here. Overall though, bigger picture still pushing up there. It's hanging in there slightly stronger than likes the euro. This morning, well, it's whether we can get a continuation from where it is at the moment. Just had Bank of England Haskell speaking, and just saying further increases in interest rates cannot be ruled out. Well, that's inevitable, that to be said at this stage. Anyway, yeah, not a lot going on there at the moment, but could just continue to the upside. I'm just looking, it's more favoured towards the upside. Daily pivots are really quite pinched. They're quite pinched. They're very pinched on the fact that we didn't have much of a trading range on Friday, and I just expect, as I said, consolidation. Maybe with some sort of spikes out there, fake outs, breakouts. We'll see. US dollar yen still sitting in this daily range. It's not going anywhere particularly quickly. I'm sort of moving around my trend lines here, adjusting them slightly, but realistically it's still in a tight old range on the dailies there, and well, it's not so rangy on the intraday here on the hourlies, but it's in middle, neither up nor down at the moment on there, so probably best avoided. Aussie dollar continues to stretch its legs. That surprise interest rate certainly helped the case for the upside for now, at least. Divergence is kicking in, and another divergence sitting where price is at the moment, I would imagine. But certainly we had the divergences kicking in into Friday there, but never triggered the lows. Just continue to work their way up, and well, could be heading back up to its quarterly pivot there. That would make sense. Now, US dollar CAD still remaining relatively strong. Bit overlapping in terms of the price action here. It's not like like this sort of area where we really got just relatively minor overlaps. We've got quite big overlaps sometimes inside days, so it shows you the chop that we'll be seeing on the lower time frames, and there it is, selling at the moment. It's got a weekly pivot just above there. Maybe we'll see it pulling it back into that, but for now just selling quite strongly. I'm always a little bit suspicious of these over strong moves first thing, in terms of, well, it's a quite thin market, but well, if we get a continuation, the S1 certainly looks on, and the previous lows there. Dollar New Zealand dollar, US dollar even, up to the underside. We've broken through the underside now into its weekly pivot, monthly pivot, beg your pardon. Broken, giving us higher lows as it's done that. Again, it's well, it's not as strong as the Aussie, but it's following the sort of path, a weaker path, but a path to the upside. Not managed to get up to give a divergence yet, but at this moment still looks like it could have further upside. Euro yen is just chopping. It doesn't matter what time frame you look on it, it's pretty much going sideways. It's quite ugly, quite a lot of chop. There is potential for this to run out at times, but you see, I mean, the clue sometimes with choppy market, if you can't see it visually, just look at what the moving averages are doing when they're going horizontal across the chart. It's a choppy market. Euro pound, just if you need that confirmation, that is. Euro pound, no surprises here. As I said, the pound seems to be a bit stronger, and it's certainly, the euro's falling against the pound, has been and is continued to do so. Maybe a retrace into the weekly pivot would be quite nice, and there's the one of the bigger time pivots sitting above there, the quarterly pivot sitting up there as well, so there's that scope for a retrace into that. Got daily pivot above. I mean, it's very much in a downward trend. I'd just like to see a bit more of a retrace on that, and that could set up. Euro Oz, not really. I mean, this is gone, and it isn't a trend. I'm saying not really, but it's because it's moved so far here, over Friday and into today. But again, really would like to see a retrace in here. We're just finding some support off of a quarterly pivot, or say it's sitting around its quarterly pivot. It could close above that, so I wouldn't get too excited there at this stage. And Euro CAD, nice downward trend. It really is my fate. I'd rather see further downside in these. Bearish engulfing, it might just continue on or off. This is, yep, so just checking the time on here, so 7 o'clock time, right. Yep, just seeing if we it's alright, the pivots have set differently on here at the moment. I need to check what's happening with the pivots, because they seem to have started at 2 o'clock in the morning today, 10 o'clock there. Why is it started at 2? I don't know. It seems a little bit odd. While the pivot started on 2, I might need to do a refresh of this. It's FXCM price, that's why. Right, okay, let me just have a look. It's got a different price and it's got a different timing on EuroCAD. I want EuroCAD on here. See if we'll find EuroCAD on here, different broker. Here you go, the pivots in the slightly different place there, but either way, this really looks like it could stretch its legs, run off to its S1 today. Pound Aussie, got to be careful sometimes of pivots on different timings. They can give us different levels of pivot and certainly look a bit strange sometimes. Ideally it would be on midnight, but I've got used to the idea we should look at the 10 o'clock start point. That is the beginning of the new market effectively. Euro CAD, still looking at the lower time frames here, just looks like it's got more continuation to be had. Very pinched pivots again here. It's a tight old day on Friday, pivots pinch, but the trend is decent to the downside. Just thinking about it being a sort of a potential swing as we lead through the market week a little bit here, but it's very difficult with non-farms. The Fed meeting, the Fed meeting could just give us a lot more volatility, and sometimes some of these currencies move a hell of a lot than others, and I know it's a cross pair, it could still get caught in the fire effectively, but at the moment looking short, like a short potential across there. Okay, pound dollars, pound, not really. Pound yen still shoving up there. Still shoving on the pound yen to the upside. The trend's still up there. The pivot's being caught on this pullback here. Probably some divergence sitting around it, but it's quite in chop at the moment, and shouldn't really overlook that. It's the pound has, as I say, been stronger than some of the cross pairs as well. The trend is certainly there. It's got the scope to push out again, I guess. Why am I not trusting it? Just because I think some of these markets could end up in quite a chop. The other thing is the yen can move quite a bit. If there's bad US news, the yen can outshift some of the other pairings, and vice versa, of course. Aussie CAD, just a couple of these other pairs looking at here. Certainly, it's got its retracement still working away. I mean, on the bigger time frame, it remains as a sort of a bear flag, but as you come down here, higher lows kicking through here, it still looks pretty bullish, but not particularly wanting to be in this at the moment. Aussie New Zealand, another one, big spiky move down on on Pepperstone. I think they had quite a the liquidity providers have seen quite a gap there. Looking at it 4 hourly wise, I mean, it's bull flaggy sort of territory all day long on this, but when you look at it on a shorter time frame here, it looks very bitty and iffy to me. So I'll probably steer clear. That is pretty much it. What I want to look at there. Let's switch across. So nothing immediately setting up on Forex. Maybe there is the risk of just sitting in chop throughout the days before the news, for Wednesday and Thursday. I know it seems it's a large bit of the week to wait, but there we are. Gold. Let's just run to the gold here. It's still chopping sidewards. No real great difference, and it's neither up or down in terms of its range at the moment. Halfway up there. Yeah, and I really don't like it as it sits. Gold at the moment. Oil's had quite a tip off. It's just there's dailies there. It's just sort of rolled back there. The growth prospects certainly aren't helping things. The potential cuts in production aren't having their desired effect here on the price either. So that said, sitting around previous lows here, certainly sold off through the Asian session there. Looking on the softer side, but do wonder if they'll pull themselves back up, bouncing off these prior lows. Okay, going Going into quite a bit of detail there. I'm just looking. It's on its monthly pivot here. Okay, looking at the indices. Well, it seems to be marginal more joy in these, but this one certainly still remains. CSI 300 still remains pretty bearish, despite the work that the Bank of China are trying to do to stir things up a little bit. It just looks weak. Nasdaq still remains strong. Another updated day. A little gap up, not much of a movement. I mean, the equity markets may slow down might slow down as we work towards Wednesday. Nifty 50 still in a bullish trend, but currently well, it's up slightly on the day, but and it could still have some further upside, to be fair. Aussie 200. Just looking here, just remains still, to me, it's pretty bearish. Lower highs, lower lows. Higher interest rate last week didn't help things, and it's looking soft there. Remember, if China's not doing too well, it has a knock-on effect on Australia there, because it being such a large supplier. The S&Ps, well, this morning trying to do something. We've seen it in a week or so, just chopping here, trying to stretch its legs a little bit. Don't know what's caused that, but it's sort of there. I don't trust them too much. I think these markets could have a bit of a sideward period or continue in this sort of sideward period. Dow's picked up a little bit from where it was, but again, not really trusting it too much. Nasdaq has been pretty decent. I think any sort of surprises this week could see these markets tumble, and Nasdaq may just take a little bit of a bigger hit, bearing in mind how much it's pushed up there. But for now, looking pretty positive. The DAX, I've got the right DAX here. DAX, well, that's it. Just continued in that tight old range. Nothing to be changed there. The pound's not too different. The FTSE's not too different either. Sitting in quite a tight range here. Okay, what's happened to the cryptos over the weekend? Probably not a lot, judging by these, unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, pretty much ranging as well. Seeing this across the majority of them, same old picture. Ethereum, we had a sell-off on Saturday there. Saturday took quite a sell-off. Yesterday stalled. Linked here, chain link. Again, Saturday saw quite a sell. I didn't notice that on Bitcoin. Was that? Yeah, Bitcoin. Well, it did have the same moves here, but some of these really did get sold off on Saturday. Looking at Solana, it's just checking through here. Yeah, Saturday really. Some of these are starting to look much more bearish, actually. Ripple just staying there, quite consolidated. Again, all had the sell-off on the light volume of Saturday, but there we are. Choppy, if not bearish on these cryptos at the moment. Okay, that's pretty much it for me today. I wish you a great day, and I'll catch you in the morning. Hopefully there's a little bit more kicking in there, but I had this horrible feeling that we're going to see in a choppy week, at least for the first few days. Maybe up to, well, including Thursday. We'll see. Okay, bye for now. Catch you tomorrow. Well, morning, John.